All right, so to anyone looking to start an SMMA in 2025 and 2026, there's one thing you need to understand. The game has changed, right? And to prove that this game has changed and that we know what we're talking about, let me show you the numbers that we have so far. So we started this about a couple months ago and we already hit $10,000 per month with our offer. We even have clients paying us $3,000 per month, $2,000 per month, around there, right? And the thing is, this is very, very simple if you understand exactly what you need to do and how you need to pivot when the game has changed. Back then, it was super difficult to get results for clients because it was very in-depth. It's very hard to actually gain that trust with clients. But now it's a lot easier because of a couple methods and hacks that have been placed into 2025 and 2026. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what those are. So my goal is that after this video, you can understand exactly how the business works and go out and find your first client yourself. All right, so let's talk about how to make $3,000 per client in your SMMA with just doing one simple thing, right? Now, first, we have to understand the fact that you get paid to solve problems, right? Money is just a byproduct of value creation. When you create value in someone's life by solving their problem, they're willing to pay you for it. So for example, if you're starving to death and someone sells sandwiches, you'll pay whatever you need to make sure you get that sandwich. Because if you don't have that sandwich, you're gonna die, right? That's just how it works. And the same thing with business. If someone's having issues with their life or their business and paying you will solve that issue, they'll do it in a heartbeat. Now, everyone has different issues and problems in their lives, especially business owners. But every business owner has one specific problem that they need solving that is universal in any industry. And that problem is getting more customers, right? The thing is, every business, if they don't have enough customers, they will die and fail. And the thing is, at its core, every business owner wants to build their business to feed their families, to create jobs, to create a positive impact, and of course, to leave their legacy behind. So if they don't actually get enough customers, it's going to ruin their livelihood. So you got to understand that the power that you have as a marketer and a social media marketer is so powerful because you're literally the lifeblood of these local businesses that you work with. So I want you guys to understand that if you solve a huge problem, there's nothing wrong with charging a huge price for it. In fact, you should charge a huge price. But you must make sure that when you charge your customers, they're still profitable. So if you can make them more money with more customers, they'll pay you the difference. So for example, let's say you're working with a real estate agent and they sell homes, right? They usually get about maybe 5 to 6% commission. So if they sell a home for $100K, they usually get about $5,000. Now, if you make that person $5,000, they'll gladly pay you $1,000 for it. I mean, it's just common sense because if they have you in their system, you can keep generating them leads, keep generating them more clients, and over time, their business will grow. So remember that you always want to focus on higher ticket clients who have higher transactions that they close. Now, the best part about getting your clients more customers is the fact that every business gets customers the same way, right? Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a brick and mortar store, or whether it's JP Morgan Chase, they all get clients the same way. And there are 3 pillars that they need to pass to become a client. And let me show you what those are. So the first thing that they need are leads. The second thing is appointments. And the third thing is sales. So leads are people who are interested in their product, right? So let's say you go online and you find a hat that you really like. Once you click on that link and put in your information, you have now become a lead that is interested in their product, and you can always be in their system to market to. And of course, appointments are situations where you can possibly sell and close the deal for the client. And then sales is, of course, getting the money, right? That's the most important part of it. So if they don't have any of these pillars, if any of these pillars are broken, the company will die and it won't grow. And this is exactly one of the biggest issues that have changed the game in 2026 for SMMA. Now, back in 2015, 2016, you could probably get away with getting your clients leads, right? They just thought, oh, wow, a bunch of leads. But no one cares about leads anymore, right? You can get your clients tons of leads, but if they don't turn into actual appointments and sales, no one cares, right? It's all about the return that they get after spending money with you. So you need to build a system that not only generates some leads, but also gets some high quality appointments and turns those appointments into sales. It's a very simple process here. And luckily, there are 3 steps we can take to find clients, get them results, get them to pay us, and turn them into recurring revenue over and over again. I'm going to walk you through these steps one by one. So the first step is to find a high ticket niche that needs customers. Now, I will say again, high ticket is super important. You never want to work with people who are broke, right? I'll be honest. Alex Ramosi says it best, right? solve rich people problems because they pay better, right? If you charge more, you're going to get people who are higher quality, they're going to be less annoying, and they're going to be more willing to work with you because at the end of the day, they're not going to be spending their entire paycheck on your services. So they're totally okay with things not going well because they already make enough money anyway. So these three niche buckets are health and wellness services, home services, and professional services. So health and wellness services is of course like chiropractors, physical therapists, med spas, things like that, right? Now this is a good niche bucket. However, some of these are a little low ticket, like chiropractors, med spas can be low ticket. So you want to make sure that these med spas and chiropractors have high ticket packages that they can sell to clients. So $1,000 like face makeup package or $1,000 spine realignment package, whatever they have there, make sure you build one out so you can get a high ticket package, because at the end of the day, if you get high ticket clients, it's just a lot easier to get them results. Now, when it comes to home services, we have roofing, flooring, bathroom, kitchen, general contractors, things like that. Now, I'm completely biased because I love home services. Thing is, home services is a great niche because they pay very high ticket. Every single thing, like a roof is like $30,000, a flooring job is like $3,000. Very high ticket, number one. Number two is that they never die, right? These kind of businesses are always going to be here. You're not going to get AI to change your roof, right? Or you're not going to get AI to change your floor anytime soon. So these are very stable businesses, and also people need them. No matter what happens, if there's a recession, if whatever the case may be, people still need a place to live. So at the end of the day, home services are perfect situations to get into. And of course, we have professional services like real estate agents, legal services, business coaches, things like that, right? But I will say, whichever one you pick, you must stick with it, because if you just stick and go broad, a big issue is that you're going to talk to no one. Your marketing is going to be off because you don't have a specific audience. It's going to be harder to get results because everyone has their own issues, their own funnels, their own things. It's just going to be a huge headache. So I would say if you find a niche that you want, stick to it and go hyper focused. The more hyper focused you can go with the niche, the more you can charge because they can see you as an expert, right? So once you find a high ticket niche that needs more customers, we got to go to step 2. So once you find a high ticket niche that needs more customers, we got to figure out exactly what they need and how to provide it for them. So what do they need? They need leads, appointments, and sales, like we said before, right? And we got to figure out exactly how to generate each pillar. So the first thing with leads is we can generate leads and high quality leads by using Facebook and Instagram ads. That's what everyone does, and that's basically one of the best ways to grow your business. Now, with Facebook and Instagram ads, it's a very specific way you need to do it, and I'll show you how to do that later in the video. So to get leads on these platforms, you first have to create content that talks about your client's offer. Then you post it on these platforms and you spend money to get these leads to come into your system. Once they're in your system, then they go down the pipeline and go to appointments, where these are people showing up for the service. So this is where people actually go in person to show up the service, or you can even do Zoom calls depending on your niche. But either way, we want to make sure that these appointments show up and they're actually ready to go. So we want to call, we want to follow up, and we want to build systems in the back end to make sure that people don't ghost us or waste our time, right? So there's that. And then, of course, sales. So at the sales portion, this is more on the actual client's end to make sure that the sale goes through. But you can, of course, help them with qualifications, with working on their sales script and whatever the case may be. Now, step 2 is to actually reach out to these businesses, to contact them and tell them that you have an offer ready for them. Now, there are 2 ways to contact these specific types of businesses. You can either do cold outreach or warm outreach, and I'll explain the 2. So cold outreach is basically reaching out to people who you've never heard of, who they don't know you, and basically it's completely cold. You're basically a stranger, right? Reaching out to strangers. Now, this is probably one of the best ways to scale in the beginning, because 9 times out of 10, you probably don't know a lot of people in business, unless if you do, that's great, but most people really don't. So you can either do things like cold calling, which is calling people on the phone, literally on Google, being like, hey, I have a service here, do you want it? Right? Either cold DMs is going on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and going on these social media platforms and sending them messages, right? Cold email is where you can send emails to people, and this is really good. It all just depends on how you structure it and the angle you use, right? So you can also do warm outreach, which is people you kind of already know, and that helps build you trust. So you can reach out to your friends and family. Let's say your friend or your family is a roofer, you can reach out to them. Going to business groups is really good. There's a business group called BNI, which is a collective that helps each other grow. So it's really nice to get your first couple of clients. Or you can go door to door, right? But this is here. Now, this is technically cold, but the thing is, this it gains a lot of trust because let's say, for example, you help your neighbor out, right? I mean, your neighbor trusts you because they're your neighbor, right? So it's kind of not always a situation of cold or warm, but that's another great way to do it too. I got my first couple of clients by just going door to door in like local shops, local places, and just saying, hey, I live in the area. Let me help you grow your business, pretty much. Now, this is all fine and dandy, but I'll be totally honest with you guys. The best way to do this is number one, just running ads yourself. Like, cause think about it, bro. Like you're SMMA, you're a social media marketing agency. Why wouldn't you just use it for yourself, right? Why wouldn't you market your own agency, right? So that's one of the best ways to get clients because when you use it this way, you get higher quality clients, you get a predictable stream of appointments, and people are a lot more ready to buy. I remember I heard a quote from this guy in a mastermind. He said, running ads to your business is basically steroids, right? And the thing is, though, I don't want you guys to take steroids, right? Steroids are the best thing in the world, but for your business, if you can figure out a way to just immediately grow it without putting in as much effort and to get high quality clients, then you definitely should do that, right? So running ads is the best way to do it. Now, what I'm going to do now is kind of show you a rough estimate and show you how we're running ads to our own clients and how we're also running ads for ourselves to get appointments. All right, so I'm here in our ads manager for our own agency, and you can see that there are tons of ads for different clients we have. So for example, let's just look at one of the ads that we're working with for one of our clients and kind of show you what it looks like and the type of leads that we're generating. So one of our clients is actually a mortgage loan officer, and you can see we got him 33 leads at basically $3 a lead, which is crazy. This is an amazing system here. So this is basically the ad that we used. Now I'm going to show you what the ad looks like. So this is what the ad actually looks like here.
So are you ready to buy your first home? The FHA loan was created in 1934, right in the middle of the Great Depression, to help everyday, hardworking Americans just like you achieve the American dream of home ownership when traditional banks would say no. Today, it's still one of the easiest, most acceptable paths forward to establishing you as a homeowner. 3.5% down with down payment assistance, flexible credit options ideal for first-time homebuyers, veterans, or for those that are working on their credit. If you've been renting, saving, or just waiting for the right time, this might be your sign. Step into home ownership with less stress.
Right, so you can see it's really simple, really nice, and the thing is, though, we don't really like to use AI videos specifically when starting out because a lot of people like to have that personal branding touch with also building out their lead flow, but it really just depends, right? So that's an example of an ad we ran for one of our clients that's doing very, very well. Now, another really cool way to create ads without having to show their face or the face of the client is to do something or use something called ARC ads. Now, ARC ads is a really, really cool system where it's kind of like Sora AI, where basically you can have ad templates that are created by AI that perform insane. They perform super well because at the end of the day, a lot of people might look at this, the younger generation like us, and might say like, oh, I mean, I know this is an AI ad. I'm not going to click on it. But when you're working with these local businesses, they can't tell. They really can't tell if they're an older generation, like maybe 30s, 40s, 50s. They can't tell. And even if they do tell, the main point of the ad in the beginning is to just capture their attention. So if they see something that looks completely different and kind of weird, you have a much higher view ratio and it raises your booking rate by a lot. All right, so that's kind of an example of how you can actually create the ads. Now, what I want to show you is a service delivery on how to actually make sure you get these leads, turn them into appointments, and turn them into closed deals for your specific clients. So here, for example, I want to show you how to actually get the leads from Facebook ads. So you run ads on Facebook and Meta, like I said before. Now, there are different ways you can actually get these results. First, you can either create the ads for your clients yourself and generate leads, right? You can either hire someone to do all the content in the ads for you, or you could just use AI to generate the content, right? So it really just depends. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on every step. So just to create an ad for your own client, let me just show you how easy it can be. So now that I'm back in Facebook here, I can click create here to just create an ad completely from scratch. And you always want to choose a lead form campaign because you want to get leads for your clients. That's the main thing. You don't want to get traffic, engagement, awareness. Facebook is smarter than you, and Facebook understands how to get the correct people through the door. So always click on leads. And now that we're here on the leads campaign, we want to also make sure that we structure it correctly. So there are 3 levels to an ad. There's a campaign, an ad set, and of course the ad itself. So the campaign, it doesn't really matter what you name it, right? You can just name it campaign example, whatever the case may be. And here you can either choose campaign budget or ad set budget. Now this is going Now, this is going a lot deeper and more technical into the ad system for now. I'll create a video that goes deeper into this, but for now, let's just say you want to click on the ad set budget just to say that. Now that we're here in the ad set campaign, we want to make sure that we choose the correct people to see the ad. Now, if you're running ads for local businesses, you want to do a 20 to 30 mile radius from the actual shop. So let's say, for example, your shop is in North Carolina. I'm going to go down here and choose and place to actually place it. If I go to show more controls and click here, I can choose where I'll do it. So let's just say Alaska. Why not? You get to do the whole Alaska, United States. You can do that, and you can even choose the radius as well. Or let's say you want to do a small town. Awesome. So let's say I want to do Austin, Texas. You can even choose the mile radius. Let's say we want to do 25 miles. We can make it smaller or bigger to see how far you want to be from the actual place of your client. And the third part here is we actually create the ad. So very simple. Just gotta put the ad, upload it to the system, choose the right correct type of text you want to put in the ad, and you're pretty much ready to go. Now, the second section is actually scheduling or making sure the appointments come in. Now, normally what you can do is call them yourself when you're just starting out, but what you can do is hire somebody to actually call these people online yourself. And what we like to call these people are appointment setters, and you can use websites like Upwork or Fiverr to find them.